You know, man, I honestly think these mediocre SmackDowns anger me more than the really shitty Monday Night Raws because we know what to expect with Monday Night Raw. We know what to expect every Monday night. But with SmackDown Live, there's so much promise and there's so much talent. And with all of that, WWE continues to just operate in this lazy manner. And I really don't understand why. It's like they do things for the sake of doing things with no thought behind it, and they do it just to get by and get through the week. And creative decisions, even though they're a little bit more tolerable on this show because the show is better presented than it is on Monday Night Raw, still end up disappointing everybody. They still end up disappointing everybody. I am excited for Survivor Series. I really am. With the matches announced already, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins, champion versus champion. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, champion versus champion. Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. The Bar versus AOP, which was officially announced tonight on SmackDown Live. The Men's Survivor Series match 5-on-5. The Women's Survivor Series match 5-on-5. And then WWE, for whatever reason, is doing an elimination tag team match with all of the tag teams that are not presented on Survivor Series, which we will talk about a little bit later in this podcast. I am actually excited for Survivor Series. I really am, you know? And I'm glad WWE is going the route in which they don't really have to build anything. The pay-per-view builds itself. It's Raw versus SmackDown. Now, there really isn't anything on the line, and I think WWE is going to use this pay-per-view as a way to further fuel storylines on each individual show. With Strowman and Corbin, McIntyre on Monday Night Raw. We got Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, Shane McMahon, The Miz on SmackDown Live. So it looks like they are at least going in a certain direction with key players. But overall, it should be a good show. But SmackDown Live tonight was in a situation where they tried, but they ultimately disappointed again. And we're going to go over all that today right here on the review for SmackDown Live, November 6, 2018. If you guys missed anything that I previously uploaded, man, Off the Script was uploaded on Monday, right before Monday Night Raw Part 3. Where we talk about plans going forward for Shane McMahon. You guys can go check that out. That is live on the channel right now. Monday Night Raw review, which some of you were calling the most entertaining Monday Night Raw review that I have ever recorded. And you get that feeling right away with the opening first seconds of the podcast, man. So thank you guys so very much for showing up for that. Almost 2,500 likes on that particular podcast, man. Thank you guys so very much. So if you want my thoughts on another shitty Monday Night Raw, it is there. And also today, I live streamed WWE 2K19 episode number 9. Huge SummerSlam match with John Cena. Huge match with Randy Orton. And a Monday Night Raw debut in which Mr. 9 to 5 interrupted Elias and interrupted Miz TV. So if you guys want to go check that out, over an hour of WWE 2K19, my career. But we are going to talk SmackDown Live tonight, man. The show opened up with Daniel Bryan and The Miz arguing over who should be the team captain for SmackDown Live at the Survivor Series. Now, Shane McMahon came out, and he was there with Paige, and they were going over the Men's Survivor Series match and going over all the matches at Survivor Series, hyping it up. He was there with the World Cup trophy. He was, I guess, greeted with boos and a chant of CM Punk when a photographer came in the ring and started photographing him with the World Cup trophy. But this was all about Daniel Bryan and all about The Miz. It was really not on Shane McMahon. They wanted the spotlight off of Shane McMahon tonight, and I think they wanted to move away from it for the time being, because they knew they came under fire from literally everybody in every which direction that Shane McMahon won a tournament with the hashtag of best in the world on the line. So I think WWE kind of wanted to put that to rest right now, just for the time being. So they didn't really spend too much time on Shane McMahon. They even had Shane McMahon come out tonight and state that he is not the best in the world and that the trophy is SmackDown Live. The trophy represents the entirety of the SmackDown Live roster because they are the A show. So you see WWE backtracking just a little bit with the bullshit that they caused with Shane McMahon winning the Best in the World World Cup at Crown Jewel. But it ended up turning into Daniel Bryan being named the team captain for SmackDown Live. Now, there are rumors going around that Vince McMahon is, I guess, disenchanted right now with Daniel Bryan, that he's losing interest in Daniel Bryan. I don't really deem those news reports truthful. I don't see why WWE would sign Daniel Bryan and make a big deal about him coming back to SmackDown Live and then not use him. I think that would be the dumbest business move and the biggest waste of money that you could possibly throw at somebody. You got someone like Daniel Bryan on your roster. You sign him to, I'm sure, what is an exorbitant amount of money, and you're not going to use his talents? I don't understand that. So I don't believe those news reports for a second. So Daniel Bryan was named the team captain. By the way, if Vince McMahon was so disenchanted with Daniel Bryan, why would he name him team captain of anything? So it doesn't make sense. I don't think those reports are true whatsoever. But Daniel Bryan was named the team captain, and The Miz came out to not only address why he should be team captain, but he actually picked a fight with Shane McMahon over the fact that he took his place at Crown Jewel. So this was the way SmackDown Live opened up tonight for November 6th, 2018.
What's up, Manchester? Well, Paige, I have to say thank you very much for that flattering introduction. But to set the record straight, with all of the amazing talent we have here in the WWE, I do not think I am the best in the world. That trophy does not belong to me. However, it does belong to everybody here on SmackDown Live.
Now, this could be a slow build for Shane McMahon. The reports going around stated that Shane McMahon was going to develop a huge ego and he was going to play up the fact that he is the best in the world and he was eventually going to turn heel. And like I said, WWE, I feel, had to backtrack here because of all the shitstorm that they caused with Shane McMahon winning the Best in the World World Cup at Crown Jewel. So it might be a slow burn. It might be something that we will see further down the line come into play and he develops that ego over time. But right now, he's just being a team player for Survivor Series. So right now, they're really, really downplaying the fact that Shane McMahon is not the best in the world, even though they made a big deal about it on social media and on their YouTube channel. But Shane McMahon came out and stated that he is not the best in the world, being that he is on a roster like SmackDown Live's roster.
When The Miz could not compete any longer and when he was hurt, I just acted on instinct. My instinct took over and I interjected myself in the match because I couldn't fathom that SmackDown would not be the superior brand, and I'm very happy to say that we are.
Compared to Raw, yes, I agree.
And it is so important that SmackDown has the bragging rights. Once again, we will have them for an entire year. The worst thing in the world is that my sister and anybody from Raw can claim them. So therefore, allow me to introduce you to somebody that will be leading our Team Blue to victory on the Men's Survivor Series team. Somebody who bleeds blue, our captain.
And even with the rumors that Vince McMahon has somehow become disenchanted with Daniel Bryan, there really wasn't any better option here to be a team captain for SmackDown Live than Daniel Bryan.
Thank you very much. You guys are awesome, just awesome. And also, thank you, Shane, for humbly acknowledging that you don't consider yourself to be the best in the world.
Even Daniel Bryan cracking jokes at him, man.
And secondly, I just wanted to say it is an honor that both of you have chosen me as the team captain for SmackDown Live. And I assure both you and the entire WWE Universe. Awesome! See, I disagree with Daniel. I do believe that you, Shane, are the best in the world. And I'm not even angry. I'm just a little disappointed, what with winning 2 grueling matches in the WWE World Cup tournament and then succumbing to a freak injury, only for you to heroically step in and win it all for SmackDown Live. Technically, 2/3 of that.
Miz is limping to the ring, by the way, so he's still selling that injury that he suffered at Crown Jewel.
So, how does this work? Does the trophy come home with me for 20 days of the month, then 10 days with you? Or do you stay at my house? I have plenty of spare rooms. Got 2 master bedrooms, one's next to Monroe's.
Miss, I'm very happy that it worked out the way it did, because had it not, again, you would no longer be here. You would be fired.
I guess he is right on that.
Forfeit. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. Never in my career have I ever been so injured that I couldn't compete, unlike you.
Points to Daniel Bryan.
By the way, my ankle's fine. Thanks for asking. The point is, I have proven that I can beat the best of the best, and I can do it as a team player. If anyone deserves to be team captain of SmackDown, it's me.
So Shane and Paige converse with one another,
You know what, Miz? Based on your performance
and this is the verdict.
at the World Cup, you're right. You are the captain. Also, Paige and I just discussed that Daniel Bryan is also the captain. You guys will be co-captains of the Men's Survivor Series match. Yes.
So we have 2 captains here. We got Daniel Bryan and we got The Miz. Okay? So the entirety of this program tonight was Daniel Bryan and The Miz working together to choose the best team possible to go against Raw at the Survivor Series. Now, I want you guys to pay close attention to the storylines that they have so far. We got Daniel Bryan and we got The Miz on Team SmackDown. So we got 2 storylines there already. We got the ankle with The Miz. We don't know if that's going to be fully, quote-unquote, healed going into Survivor Series. That still may be a factor. We got the storyline that kind of correlates with that with The Miz and Shane McMahon. The Miz right now is kind of playing buddy-buddy with Shane McMahon. And The Miz, which I will talk about in a second, actually chose Shane McMahon as one of his picks to be on the Survivor Series team. So The Miz right now is sucking up to Shane McMahon. You got the ankle, which The Miz had stated several times already was a fluke injury, and in the entirety of his career, he's never been injured. And he went back and forth with Shane McMahon on that, and Shane said, well, if I didn't interject here, you would have been fired from SmackDown Live. You wouldn't even be here standing in front of me right now talking about the Survivor Series. So we got the ankle, we got his issues with Shane McMahon right now that are kind of on friendly terms. He's buttering him up, or he's being, very kind. He's kissing ass, sucking up to him. And then we got the issue with Daniel Bryan and The Miz, which is something that's always been there. And I'm glad that they have not gone away from that. So there's a few combustible elements right now on SmackDown Live side. And we will get into many, many more of those combustible elements as we get on into this review. So that's the way the show opened up. We got The Miz and Daniel Bryan right now leading SmackDown Live as its first 2 members. After the fact, The Miz is arguing with Daniel Bryan. Shane McMahon interrupts them, and he says he needs the team to bring it home at Survivor Series. He needs everyone to be comfortable, but The Miz and Bryan make everyone uncomfortable. He says that they also bring out the best in each other, and that's what he needs. So Miz and Bryan say Shane can count on them. He then says that they have to pick 3 other members before the night is over. That's what Shane McMahon orders Daniel Bryan and The Miz to do. Miz has his first pick, and like I said, he's kissing ass. He's kissing the boss's ass. He picks Shane McMahon as his pick for Team SmackDown Live. Bryan actually interrupts and says, I don't believe I'm going to say this, But Miz, I actually think that is a very good decision. And Brian says Shane proved how much he cares about SmackDown Live at Crown Jewel, and he couldn't think of any other person to be on this team but Shane McMahon. Shane accepts the spot on Team SmackDown Live, and Miz then graciously gives Daniel Bryan the next pick to pick a member for Team SmackDown Live. So we have this weird connection right now between The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Now Shane McMahon is officially on the team, and we got that little back and forth between them. Is the ankle and is The Miz going to really come out of his shell and show his true colors against Shane McMahon for taking his trophy and his World Cup victory? We don't know, man. So there's a few combustible elements right now on Team SmackDown Live that make it very, very interesting heading into Survivor Series. The New Day versus the Usos. I would never complain about this match happening. I love both of these teams, and when you put these two teams together, they rarely, actually, let me rephrase that, they never have a bad tag team match. The one thing I did not like here, and I made a video on it via my Twitter account, and I posted it during SmackDown Live tonight. WWE made this match with the winner receiving the Team Captain Award for Survivor Series. Team Captain of what, you ask? I don't fucking know. I don't understand why WWE is going about having a Survivor Series elimination match with tag teams at Survivor Series. This is an absolute fucking idiotic move. And this is what pisses me off about this fucking bullshit. There's no creativity in this shit, and this is one of those instances where I talk about it every year at WrestleMania. These fucking writers, the people who write this show, are getting everybody on the show for the sake of getting everybody on the fucking show. I fucking hate it. On top of that, before I even dive into that fucking topic, the team captain goes to the Usos, okay? They made a big deal. Whoever wins this match is going to be team captain of Survivor Series. So what does WWE do? The Usos win this match, and the first team that they pick to be on their team is the New Day. What's the fucking difference? Whoever won this match would have ended up being the same thing as the losers. And vice versa. What does team captain give them at the Survivor Series? Except choosing teams to be on your side at Survivor Series, which right now, I don't know if you've noticed, there is none. There's no teams in this division. None. So I'd love to see how WWE is going to fucking concoct this match at Survivor Series. I can think of teams, but I don't think it's going to result in anything all that good. We got the New Day. We got the Usos. We got Sanity. Outside of them, who the fuck do you have on SmackDown Live? I can't think of any. The Colognes? The Colognes have not been on television all fucking year outside of one SmackDown Live. You're going to put the Colognes on Team SmackDown Live for the Survivor Series? Who else is there in the division besides the Bar who already have a match with AOP? I don't know. This is how scarce the tag team division is. And let me go ahead and tell you guys something that even pisses me off even more. Who the fuck are they going to go up against at the Survivor Series? Is there a division on Raw that I don't know of? Did they somehow sprout new tag teams when I wasn't looking? Who is SmackDown Live going to put against Monday Night Raw? I don't know. We have Rude and Gable. We have the B Team. We have the Ascension. And we have, who else? I don't even fucking know. The Revival. That's 4 teams. You need a 5th team. They're advertising 5 versus 5. 5 teams versus 5 teams. I don't think there are 5 teams on SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw. Maybe combined, but individually, there is none. Unless some team gets called up from NXT that I don't know of. Now, this is what I'd do, because the way WWE has it set up, they're looking at a fucking disaster. And SmackDown Live, by no means, should ever even lose that match. There shouldn't even be a thought of SmackDown Live losing that match. There should not even be an elimination at the Survivor Series for Team SmackDown. That should be a clean sweep. A clean sweep. I feel bad for the Revival to be put on a fucking team full of jobbers. Rude and Gable, the Ascension? Are you fucking kidding? The B team? This is what I would do. This is what I would do. You got AOP in a marquee match with the Bar. I'm actually excited to see what those two teams can do. AOP is very underrated, man. Let them go. They'll show you something good. Now, what I would do, and believe it or not, this is logic we talk here, and I wish WWE had someone in the fucking back on creative who actually has a brain to write this shit with logic. Why don't we do, instead of 5 teams versus 5 teams, which right now really isn't going to work out, why don't we do 2 teams versus 2 teams? I don't understand why we have to have 5 fucking teams versus 5 fucking teams. Why don't we get the Usos and the New Day? So that's 4, right? You got 4. You got 4 men. You can substitute one of the New Day members for the other. I don't fucking know. You want Big E, you want Xavier Woods, so be it. That's 4 members on a team, just like the old days. 4 versus 4. You got the New Day and the Usos, 2 of the best tag teams on SmackDown Live. And then you take 2 of the best teams on Monday Night Raw, which right now, AOP are the tag team champions, but they're already tied up with the Bar. So you take the Revival, okay? You take the Revival, and then this is what you do, WWE. To throw a shot of momentum on Monday Night Raw, why don't you give me New Day and Usos versus the Revival and a returning Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper? I don't get why you would give me those scrub teams on Monday Night Raw, which don't equal 5, to go against SmackDown Live. Please. Please do the right thing. Do not make this 5v5. Do not put these teams and these individuals on a show just for the sake of putting them on the show. God, I fucking hate it. This is exactly why I told you that either one of 2 things should have happened. One, the tag team division should have all been on one show, or a rotating division between both shows. And the women right now, you should have had a rotating division of women on both shows, or the women would go strictly to one show. Those were the 2 options that you had, and you did neither. Instead, you split the divisions in half, and you give some to Raw and give some to SmackDown. And now you see that in the end, it is fucking you in the ass. No lube. No lube. That is an awful fucking decision for the tag team division. And I don't understand how the fuck you're going to come up with teams to put against SmackDown Live on Monday Night Raw. I want to see a team comprised of the B team, the Ascension, Rude and Gable, and then the Revival. And who the fuck else you got on that show? It'll probably be Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews for all I fucking know. And Apollo ain't even with Titus Catering anymore. And why would Rude and Gable be going to team with the Ascension, even if it is for Monday Night Raw supremacy against SmackDown Live? They fought for the last 2 months, going back and forth. This is a mess. Fix it. Fix it. New Day and the Usos versus the Revival and a returning Wyatt family with Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Correct me if I'm wrong, Harper is not injured. Why must he and his talents sit out? Bray Wyatt ain't hurt. And Bray Wyatt right now, believe it or not, dead as he may be, is probably looking at himself in the mirror and fucking salivating over the fact that he could be positioned in a high profile on Monday Night Raw with all the injuries going on. Get him back on the show. Start using these guys in prominent roles. And get Bo Dallas out of the fucking B team and put him with Bray Wyatt. Please? And reform the Wyatt family with Eric Rowan. Please? I think that's the best operation right now. Or the best course of action right now. Either way, the Usos beat the New Day. Very good tag team match. Nothing out of the ordinary that we haven't seen from these 2 teams. It's always a great time with these 2 teams in the ring. But a 5-team versus 5-team tag team elimination match comprised of all the tag teams in WWE? Nah, man, I'll pass. Fix it. Backstage, we got The Miz on the phone talking about doing media. Apparently, the Marine 6 is coming straight to DVD. It will be on the Walmart shelves by the end of the week. Sounds like his agent informs him that talk shows want another star of the movie, Becky Lynch. I don't blame them. Daniel Bryan walks up and says he picked Rey Mysterio to be on the team for SmackDown Live. See, now this is where I get pissed. First of all, I don't give a shit if you like Rey Mysterio or not. Rey Mysterio has done nothing for me since coming back to WWE, and I know that's not his fault, okay? So at this point, we got a team of The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, and Rey Mysterio. So someone in WWE Creative was locked in a boardroom all day, and this is the best thing that they came up with. Now, out of everybody on SmackDown Live, you look at what has been announced for Team SmackDown Live already, and you ask yourself, is that the best that you could do? Now, before we even got to the conclusion of this show, I comprised a team on Twitter. Okay, I had Daniel Bryan, I had Randy Orton, I had The Miz, and I had Samoa Joe, and then I had Andrade Cien Almas. People were asking me, well, why are you leaving Rey Mysterio out? Why are you leaving Rey Mysterio out? I got Daniel Bryan, The Miz, Samoa Joe, right? Randy Orton, and Andrade Cien Almas, right there. Now, you probably could have rearranged that to a point where you could get Randy Orton on the show anyway. And you could have him go one-on-one with Rey Mysterio after what happened at Crown Jewel. And you could get Shane McMahon on the team and have a team of The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Samoa Joe, and Andrade Cien Almas. But right now we're looking at The Miz, Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, and Rey Mysterio. That is the best you could come up with? Shane McMahon needs to wrestle? Haven't we seen him wrestle enough? Who, watching this program, wants to see Shane McMahon wrestle again in a prominent role, taking a spot away from a guy like Andrade Cien Almas? I don't understand this company. I don't understand it. There had to be a better way to comprise Team SmackDown Live. That's my mentality, and that's what I was thinking watching this show up until this point. So The Miz says that Rey is a future Hall of Famer, but he's done nothing since coming back. Well, Daniel Bryan, wants to argue that fact. He beat Randy Orton, he beat Shinsuke Nakamura, and he beat The Miz. So The Miz says it was a fluke, just like Bryan's win at Super Showdown over him. Miz says that if Rey impresses him tonight in his match with Andrade Cien Almas, then he can have his spot. Bryan agrees and has an idea for the final member of the team. Instead of The Miz and he fighting over who they're going to pick, they select two superstars, and those two superstars battle it out in the ring, and the winner of that match receives the final spot on Team SmackDown. The Miz actually agrees to this stipulation from Daniel Bryan. Now, Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas, clearly that would give anybody a fucking hard-on. That's a match that I've wanted to see ever since Andrade Cien Almas came to SmackDown Live, and the rumors of Rey Mysterio were swirling around about him coming back to the WWE. I didn't want it to be in a meaningless fucking match to build to the Survivor Series. That in itself is a world championship fucking match, and I know those two guys on any given night, on any show, could absolutely tear the house down given 20 minutes. But here we are, for free, with 2 commercial breaks, with nothing on the line, really. Really, if you think about it, there's nothing on the line. And they're going at it on SmackDown Live. I don't agree with that. We'll talk about that in a second. But that is the way the final member of the team will be chosen by The Miz and Daniel Bryan. So, we get Becky in the ring. And if I can find the promo on YouTube, I will find it. Let me look for it. Becky cut a very good promo on Ronda Rousey. And I'm loving Becky Lynch, man. I really am. Becky right now is the hottest thing in all of WWE. And yes, we do have a Becky Lynch. We do have a Becky Lynch promo here on SmackDown Live. We will play this in a second. I am actually looking forward to this match, probably more so than anything on this show, really. And I'm loving this, man. I can't wait to see this match. But Becky Lynch is now responding to Ronda Rousey. And after Ronda said that Becky went to clown college and Ronda has been training to be the baddest bitch on the planet and all this other shit that she talked about on Monday Night Raw, Becky definitely had a nice comeback against Ronda Rousey. And I'm telling you right now, man, WWE better do their fucking best to protect Becky Lynch in this match. This is Becky's rebuttal to Ronda Rousey for their match at the Survivor Series.
Ronda Rousey, you told me that you are the last woman on earth that I should provoke. Well, who the hell are you to tell the champ anything? Ronda, it is true that you hold a championship, but you are not a champion. Not yet. No, because a champion wills herself to adversity, to defeat, to injury, to doubt. But you haven't even been tested yet.
If you really think about it, she has not. And no, Nia Jax is not a test, clowns. Barbie dolls in the ring with Ronda Rousey is not a test.
I am the man. I am the man, and that, Ronda, that is why I am the champion and you are not. You see, Ronda, winning comes so easily to you that when you finally meet the man come Survivor Series, your titanium body will be let down by your weak mind. I have been ground down and spat back up again more times than I can count. I have made history. I have been tested daily, weekly, monthly, and yet here I am, the most relentless person that you have ever met. Now last night you went on Raw and you mocked me. You mocked me for the road that I have traveled and the jobs that I have taken to pay my own way to get to where I am today. So no, Ronda, no, I was not handpicked like you, but here I am.
And Becky is saying all these things.
The main event, but here I am.
She's saying all these things, and it's very difficult to not agree with her. This is why she gets cheered.
To be the talk of the entire industry, but here I am.
And she's not a heel. By any stretch of the imagination,
The only.
she is not a heel.
But you say I should be happy because I have your respect. I have your respect. Well, come Survivor Series, Ronda, you're gonna find out that it's not your respect that I'm coming after. It's your arm. And I don't care if you're the baddest on the planet, because I'm gonna make you mine.
Ooh. Gotta love that fire, man. Now, what happened after this is something that I don't like at all.
You're right.
I loved it for about a couple of seconds, and then I fucking hated it.
I think I want to fight right here, right now. So is there anyone back there that's brave enough to step to the champ and have their arm mangled right here in Manchester?
I honestly thought Asuka was going to come out. I really thought Asuka was going to come out. And then I hear this.
Take a brave soul to step in the ring with Lynch in this state of mind.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Why is Sanity here? Killian Dane, Eric Young, Alexander.
Uh-oh.
Becky Lynch said she was looking for a fight. These three are not the type to step in the ring. Nikki Cross.
Play with you, Becky. Let's play, Becky. You want to play? Play with Nikki.
I fucking love Nikki Cross, man. I fucking love Nikki Cross. Listen, I loved that, and then when the bell rang, I fucking hated it. Let's backtrack a little bit. Becky is making a lot of references to Ronda Rousey's arm. Becky is making a lot of references to Ronda Rousey's arm. I am telling you right now, Becky cannot tap out to Ronda's armbar. Ronda has to find another way to beat Becky Lynch. Because I know Becky Lynch is not going to win this match. I wish she would. I think it would be fucking fantastic if Becky Lynch beat Ronda Rousey. But we all know that they're saving Ronda for Charlotte. That first loss is going right to Charlotte's resume, man. It's on reserve. So Ronda and Becky may be a good match at Survivor Series. It'll probably be Ronda's best match in the WWE so far. But I'm telling you right now, Ronda cannot tap out Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch plays a character that is balls to the wall, fucking tough, and she will do anything she has to do to win and keep that title. Even though the title is not on the line, in most instances, she will do whatever it takes to keep that title. She's not letting go of that title, and that means if Ronda has an armbar on her, she is not going to let go. She's not going to tap out. She's not going to give in. Okay? Becky needs to be beaten by that fucking judo throw that Ronda Rousey does. I would accept that, even though, that's still stretching it for me. Okay? The other obvious choice here is that there's no winner, and we get this to continue on somehow leading into 2019. Either a double countout or a disqualification, or maybe Charlotte interferes and helps Becky win because she now appreciates what Becky did and how Becky is and what she did at Evolution to beat Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte finally gained respect for Becky Lynch. We don't know. WWE, like I said on Monday Night Raw after Ronda Rousey had her promo, WWE has a lot of different paths that they could take for this match. Will they make the right one? I don't know. Normally they don't. More times than not, they don't make the right decision. They always take the worst decision and use that one. But I'm telling you all right now, Becky, I know she's not going to win this match. Ronda probably is going to win it because they're reserving that win for Charlotte. But she cannot tap out. You can beat Becky, but don't let her tap out. And even that, to me, is still not the right decision. But I know that's a decision WWE is going to make. Now, let's go on to Nikki Cross. I loved this for about a good minute, and then I fucking hated every aspect of it. Why, JD? We have fresh talent on SmackDown Live. Let me tell you something. I pray to God this is a one-off, being that they were in Manchester. I pray to God that Nikki Cross is still in NXT. First of all, why would you pluck Nikki Cross from NXT right now when she's in the midst of the biggest storyline in the entire fucking company right now? I don't understand that. Nikki Cross is in the center of Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black. Why would you pluck her from NXT when she's in the middle of that? And the reason why all of this got started, she tattletaled on Johnny Gargano and now has an issue with Candice LeRae. So I don't know why you would pluck her from NXT, even though she has this storyline ongoing. Okay? I pray to God this is a one-off. Nikki Cross doesn't belong on SmackDown Live yet. I don't want her anywhere near SmackDown Live or Monday Night Raw. Why, JD? This is fresh talent. Have you seen what they did with Sanity? If Nikki Cross is going to be affiliated with Sanity, then they are burying Nikki Cross already. Seriously. And you're taking a white-hot babyface in Nikki Cross right now, and you're putting her on SmackDown Live, and you're putting her against someone who WWE thinks is a heel, and they are pushing as a heel, and she's still getting Becky chants ringing out throughout the arena in full effect. On top of that, white-hot Nikki Cross, you just buried Nikki Cross on SmackDown Live. There was no one else that you could think of to put in that spot and just give Becky a fucking fight. Why couldn't Mandy Rose come out? Why couldn't Sonya Deville come out? It had to be Nikki Cross? I don't understand that logic. White hot Nikki Cross, already on the main roster. High profile match with Becky Lynch. There'll be somebody in the fucking comment section or someone on social media. Well, this is great for Nikki Cross. She got TV exposure in front of an audience she's never been in front of before against the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. I take that as a win. No. I'm sorry. Nikki Cross is better than that. Maybe you don't watch NXT and don't know what the fuck Nikki Cross is all about. Fuck that. WWE could have went about this a completely different way to where they preserve Nikki Cross. How can I get excited, or how the fuck can you get excited about Nikki Cross making the main roster when everybody else that comes up that has followed in her footsteps has been buried? Where's Ember Moon? Buried. Where's Sanity? Buried. You think Nikki Cross is going to get pushed on the main roster? You are a goddamn fucking fool. Fuck this shit. If this did anything, it just enhances the fact that I've been right all these fucking months. Becky Lynch is a babyface. She is a babyface. She was always a babyface, and she will remain a babyface until she shits on the fans. And that hasn't come yet. And WWE did that once, and then they left it out on the YouTube channel because they knew they fucked up. I didn't like this whatsoever. Wasn't even that good of a match. I wanted to enjoy it, but I'm thinking about all the negatives that are coming along with it. This sucked. I want to see Nikki Cross succeed, but not be buried on SmackDown Live already. Come on, man. Why would anybody be excited about this knowing that Sanity has done nothing? Look at her brothers in Sanity. What have they done? That is the same fate that Nikki Cross is going to have. Moving on. Becky Lynch won that match with and then they had Nikki Cross tap out. Of all fucking things, they had Nikki Cross tap out. Really? At least when she went up against Bianca Belair, you know you can't beat Bianca Belair. You know you can't beat Nikki Cross. Aleister Black interfered. At least there was ways around it to preserve Nikki Cross looking strong. Now we'll bring her to SmackDown Live and have her tap out. Oh, but JD, she tapped out to the women's champion. She shouldn't be tapping out to anybody. Moving on. The Miz is backstage taking selfies when Daniel Bryan interrupts. Bryan picked Jeff Hardy. The Miz has picked Samoa Joe to compete for the final SmackDown spot on Team SmackDown for Survivor Series. Joe appears, stares Bryan up and down, and says, "May the best man win." And he walks off. Joe is a beast. How this man has not been WWE champion is a fucking crime. Unreal. So, that is the final spot on Team SmackDown Live. Where the fuck is Orton? Where the fuck is Orton? I'm feeling someone from within is going to fuck over SmackDown Live. That's what I feel. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. This match is going to be looked at by Daniel Bryan and The Miz. If Rey Mysterio impresses The Miz, then he gets the Team SmackDown Live spot. Andrade Cien Almas, another guy who is just filled with fucking talent and skill, is being left off the Survivor Series card. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Now, I am going to be patient. I've been fucking patient, and I'm losing patience with every fucking passing week with Andrade Cien Almas. First of all, he didn't come out with Zelina Vega, which I understand there may have been some issues with her traveling overseas, or maybe she had something else to attend to. But I'm telling you right now, Andrade came out without Zelina Vega, and my God, did he look like a shell of his former self. I cannot even fucking begin to tell you. It's been 1 week since she's been away from Almas. They complement each other so badly that Almas, I feel, if he's without Zelina Vega, he will fail. That's how much of an important act Vega is to Almas. They need to be together. So right now, you can, and I hope someone in the fucking back sees this. If you're looking at Almas and you're looking at a guy who you want to push, you're getting half of the man that you should be getting without Zelina Vega. She is mucho importante to Andrade Cien Almas. I'm just letting you know right now. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas, but this was a great fucking match. A match that I didn't really care to see right now on SmackDown Live with nothing on the line. Really, realistically, there was nothing on the line, but a great match nonetheless. A taste of what these two guys can do together in the ring. Rey Mysterio wins here. He wins with the 619 and then nails the big splash to get the win on Andrade Cien Almas, man. Listen, I don't know why you would pick Rey Mysterio for Team SmackDown Live. Do you see who's on the other team? I mean, you got guys like Drew McIntyre and you got guys like Braun Strowman on the other team. Can you imagine Braun Strowman and Rey Mysterio in the ring together? This guy would be used as a toothpick with Braun Strowman. I don't know why anybody would pick Rey Mysterio. If Rey Mysterio was your pick for Team SmackDown Live, I find that to be a weak link on your team. I think WWE would have probably been better off to put Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in a grudge match after Survivor Series after what happened at Crown Jewel. And maybe replace Rey Mysterio with a guy like Jeff Hardy. I don't understand why Joe and Hardy couldn't be on the team. It's just mind-blowing to me. It really is. Andrade Cien Almas. Guy's been on the roster for a good portion of the year. What has he done outside of lose on this brand? Nothing. He's got a win over Rusev in a mixed tag team match. And maybe a singles match if my memory serves me correctly. But what has he done on this fucking show? Nothing. Nothing. Wasn't on SummerSlam's main card. He wasn't on any other fucking pay-per-views moving forward. He wasn't at Crown Jewel in the fucking World Cup. He's a Mexican wrestler in a company that's promoting a World Cup to find who the best in the world is. And you don't have Almas in the fucking tournament. I don't know what the fuck anybody's doing there. Really. Then you got him on SmackDown Live losing to Rey Mysterio. Can you tell me why Almas is losing? Why do we need to see Almas lose? Oh, JD, be patient. I've been patient since WrestleMania, motherfucker. What are you talking about, be patient? The guy was giving me fucking 5-star classics in NXT. With Black and with Gargano. Why do we have to have this guy on SmackDown Live and revert back to what he was before he became NXT champion? A loser! Come on, man. This is exactly the reason why guys like Rey Mysterio, I lose interest in them so fucking quick because he's a big name. He's got to come on in and he's got to look strong. Rey Mysterio is a guy that should be coming on in and putting over guys like Almas. Don't give me that shit. Oh, another fucking guy that's been a lifer in WWE. Yeah, we'll give him the spot at Survivor Series over Almas. Are you fucking kidding me? 10 times out of 10, I'd take Almas over Mysterio. 2019 better be his year. I'm telling you right now. Almas better be wearing gold in 2019. They say about McIntyre on Raw, this is the same thing about Almas on SmackDown Live. The man better be wearing fucking heavyweight championship gold on SmackDown Live. I don't know why we have to continuously watch him lose. Oh, it was a great match. Oh, it was a great match. Oh, it was a great match. You can have the greatest fucking matches in the world. If you don't win any of them, how is that going to translate to the fucking idiot sitting in the audience? Loser. Get this guy a win, please. Get this guy a win. Mysterio wins with the 619. What else is fucking new? So, Daniel Bryan, actually, before I even talk about what Daniel Bryan did after the match, Rey Mysterio was attacked by Randy Orton. Randy Orton RKO's Rey Mysterio out of nowhere. And then again I ask, why aren't we getting Orton versus Rey Mysterio at Survivor Series? Another guy left off the fucking Survivor Series team. Where's Rusev? Does Rusev not deserve a spot on Survivor Series? What about Rusev Day? You got no teams on SmackDown Live, but you want to break up Rusev Day, right? This fucking show sucks, dude. The people that run this show are really fucking stupid. I hope that they look back at the things that they did and be like, man, we fucked up. You won't get that, though. But that's why you have me here. To make sure you remember what they did wrong, and then I call them out for it. So backstage, we got The Miz asking, or Bryan asking The Miz, if he sent Randy Orton to attack Rey Mysterio. Miz admits that Rey was impressive, but before the RKO, he's like, why would I send Randy Orton out there? Randy Orton RKO'd me just a couple of weeks ago. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to be in the same room as him. So, Rey Mysterio's got the spot. He looked impressive. There you go. Rey Mysterio's on Team SmackDown Live. So, we get a backstage pre-recorded video from AJ Styles. He's talking about the beginning of his reign in Manchester and says that he's rewarded again by getting to face the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. Fans boo Lesnar, as they should. AJ says he gave Lesnar all he had last year, and he will do that again this year, but the outcome won't be the same. I hope not. I hope you put that in the air and WWE catches on to that, man, because Styles needs to win that match. Styles goes on and declares that he will beat Lesnar at Survivor Series, and that is not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Ooh. Take a page out of Heyman's book, man, because he is the phenomenal one. Paige is introducing the women's SmackDown Live team to go against Raw. Carmella, R-Truth comes out, and they are rapping and dancing in the aisleway. Naomi comes out. Sonya Deville comes out. And Asuka comes out. And then the final member, you know who that was going to be, Charlotte Flair, who doesn't come out. So we got Carmella, Sonya Deville, Naomi, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair on Team SmackDown Live. So Flair's music stops, and we get Mandy Rose's music to hit the PA system. Saxton says, "This isn't Charlotte," and I swear to God, man, I laughed out loud for a good 45 seconds. Saxton says, "That's not Charlotte coming out through the curtain," and Corey Graves is like, "Who?" I laughed so fucking hard, man. The one good thing about these programs is when Corey Graves goes into full Mandy mode, man. I absolutely fucking love it, man. It reminds me so much of Bobby the Brain. In fact, his hoot tonight when he was rebutting Saxton reminded me so much of Bobby the Brain Heenan, man. I absolutely fucking loved it. If you guys got it on DVR, go back and watch it. Or if you find it on YouTube, go back and watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about. Who? Loved it. And Mandy Rose was walking down the aisle. She comes down with a microphone laughing. And she says she knows she's not the blonde Paige ordered. It's the one I ordered, Mandy. It's the one I ordered. Rose says she's obviously an upgrade. Oh my goodness, man. Is that a fucking understatement of the century? Holy shit. Paige says, "No, Rose, you will not be taking Flair's spot on the team." Rose says she knows, but she's curious why Paige chose Sonya. And I wondered this too. Why is Paige choosing Sonya Deville over Mandy Rose? I think they're about equal. And I think Mandy's a little bit more nicer to look at. So I don't know why Paige chose Sonya over Mandy. Rose says, don't get her wrong, she is really, really, really happy for Sonya Deville. Rose reminds us that she eliminated Sonya from the Evolution Battle Royal. And she says she's a little concerned about Paige's decision. So Rose takes shots at Asuka and says that she is the Empress of yesterday. She talks about Carmella, and her 7-second dance break is just like her title reign. Worthless. Ooh, I actually laughed at that line, man. That was a good fucking line. That's a nice burn line. Love it. And then she goes on to Naomi. And she says, is anyone still feeling the glow? And I'm talking about your husband, Jimmy. Ooh, Mandy Rose is on fire tonight, man. So Rose and Deville now face off, and there's a huge brawl in the middle of the ring. Naomi decks Rose with strikes for her little low blow about Jimmy Uso. Others are trying to keep them separated. Rose and Deville face off. Crowd tries to get them to go at it. So Deville looks like she wants to talk, but Rose just leaves the ring as the others look on. If I'm booking this, clearly Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are probably going to wrestle next week to find out who fills the final spot on Team SmackDown Live. That's just my assumption there. Because I think WWE just did it to set up a storyline so they get both women involved, but then one of them actually lands on the Survivor Series team, and that one that they really want is going to be Mandy Rose. Just the way I'm seeing it, man. So that was a pretty decent segment, man. Mandy Rose really stood out there. I was really enjoying what she brought to the table there on SmackDown Live. We got Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe in the main event. This one was for the final spot of Team SmackDown Live. And Samoa Joe gets the victory here. Hardy goes up to the top for a swanton bomb, but Joe gets the knees up. Joe then goes into the Coquina Clutch, and Hardy fades to black. And I'm not talking about Alistair. He fades, and Hardy taps out for the finish here. And Samoa Joe is now the final member of Team SmackDown Live. After the match, Bryan and Miz were on commentary on both sides of the three-man booth there. You had Saxton, you had Phillips, and then you had Corey Graves. Bryan was next to Graves, and then The Miz was next to Saxton. Samoa Joe exits the ring, and he just bumps into Daniel Bryan purposely at the announce desk. He's got his arms up. He's like, what are you going to do now, Captain? Right? So Joe is the final member. He's kind of dwarfing, Daniel Bryan there. And Bryan unloads all over Samoa Joe, punching him in the face. He gets thrown into the ring. Bryan applies the yes lock to Joe in the middle of the ring. Miz then gets up from the commentary table and pulls Bryan off of Joe. So they go at it. Miz is asking, what the fuck are you doing? What is going on? Bryan attacks the Miz and throws punches at the Miz. Shane McMahon comes from behind. And Bryan, thinking it's Joe from behind, he throws Shane McMahon down and leaves the ring in disgust after he realized what had happened. So Bryan really in disgust here. And remember when I talked about it in the beginning of the podcast where there's a lot of combustible elements on SmackDown Live? You have The Miz and Shane. You have The Miz sucking up to Shane McMahon and choosing Shane McMahon for Team SmackDown Live. Is The Miz's ankle injury and is the World Cup trophy going to come into play? Is The Miz going to get jealous and reveal himself to be the real Miz? Because right now, this isn't the real Miz. Team player, working together with Bryan and Shane McMahon. This isn't the Miz. Are we going to see the real Miz at Survivor Series, right? You got that combustible element. You got Bryan and you got The Miz. That hasn't gone away, right? Now you got Mysterio involved. He's the only one without an issue here, but he's got Randy Orton looming over his shoulder. Like I had mentioned weeks ago, Randy Orton I knew was going to target Rey Mysterio as the next victim. So it's looking and shaping up that way. Bryan has an issue with Joe. Joe has an issue with Bryan. Now, Bryan has an issue with Joe because he choked him out after his match with AJ Styles. And Joe is just angry because he's Samoa Joe. So there's a lot of combustible elements there. There's a lot of combustible elements on Team SmackDown Live right now. There are combustible elements on Team Raw, mainly from Braun Strowman. You got the issues with Drew McIntyre. You got the issues with Corbin. Corbin now forcing Braun Strowman to work with guys that really are against him. So there's a lot of combustible elements for this 5 vs. 5 men's Survivor Series match, man. More so on SmackDown Live. So it's going to be a little interesting to look out for all that stuff heading into the Survivor Series in just 2 weeks, man. So I thought SmackDown Live did an admirable job, but there were things about this show that I did not like. Most notably, almost losing Orton being left off Team Survivor Series for SmackDown Live. I don't know who the fuck would leave off Randy Orton. I'm glad Samoa Joe made it onto the team, but why leave off Orton? Does Shane McMahon really need to wrestle? Can he be in the corner of Team SmackDown Live? Why isn't Orton on the team, man? If I'm booking this thing, Orton is one of my top picks, easily. Usos and the New Day in this 5-team versus 5-team elimination match with the tag teams at Survivor Series. That is going to be a fucking disaster. A fucking disaster. And then Becky Lynch, obviously, I am under the impression, I'm feeling deep down that Becky should not be tapping out to Ronda Rousey. With all this talks about breaking arms and getting the armbar in, and you got 2 armbar submission holds going at it at Survivor Series, Becky can't tap. Becky can't tap. And then on top of that, Nikki Cross coming up to SmackDown Live. I'm praying that it's a one-off, and they only did it because they were in the UK. And that she stays in NXT, fulfills her obligations there, and then, when you have a true plan for her, call her up to the main roster. And don't get her lost in the shuffle. At this point, I would not place her with Sanity. But it seems like WWE's off to the races on burying Nikki Cross, just like Asuka, on the main roster. I don't like it. I marked out for a little bit when her music came, and she came down the aisle, but after that, I can't agree with that decision whatsoever. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. This is your SmackDown Live review. If you enjoyed, please hit that thumbs up. You guys know what to do. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Get your t-shirts. Your commemorative 100,000 subscriber t-shirt now available on Barbershop Window. Use code BSHOP20 for 20% off. You guys know the deal on that. Here's a close-up of the shirt right there, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful design. Now available on barbershopwindow.com. Please make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button. Give that bell the middle finger. And please support on Patreon. Patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. Thank you guys so very much. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a Black Ops 4 premiere at 3 p.m. My Road to Prestige Master series continues on YouTube, and then I'll see you guys Wednesday night for NXT and NXT UK review. Yes, goons, the UK review is in the regular NXT review, so look forward to that. That'll be up tomorrow night as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you tomorrow with more content on the channel. Enjoy your Tuesday evenings, and I'll see you tomorrow for NXT. I'll talk to you later.